Hello, hello. Last time did not go well at all. I got nothing accomplished, and the reason for that is because I wanted to turn my game state here into a pointer so that I can allocate the memory for it dynamically, I guess, at start time, and so that the memory for it will be maintained on the heap and not the stack. But by doing that, I ended up breaking the rotation of my camera. So I'm gonna make that my first priority today, is to fix that. And then I'm gonna go back to trying to emulate something similar to Google's dinosaur game, just to test out my engine and then keep my list of all the things I need to upkeep my engine and make it better and make it more worthy of game making, I suppose. So I'm going to go back to everything I had when I changed my game state to a pointer. So I allocate the memory here, and then I now have to go everywhere where I'm doing the dots, change them to the arrows. So all of those need to get changed. And I have a theory as to what the problem was. I thought about it for a half a minute, and I'm like 95% sure I know what the problem is. And if I would have just put a little bit more thought into it, then I would have figured it out last time, but no such luck. So I'm going to do it this time, hopefully. Okay, so I did all that, and then I also have to look for where I'm passing in the address, because it's no longer an address. So that one's fine. That one needs to change. And everything else is fine. Okay, and I remember this was breaking stuff, so I'm going to comment that out for now. Okay, so yeah, everything works, but then my camera rotation is completely broken, whether I use the keyboard, whether I use the mouse, whether I use the keypad, I mean the gamepad. I can move the camera, but I can't rotate the camera. So I've narrowed it down to the rotate function here, where I'm rotating my camera like here, for example. It's something going on in there, and I think what's happening is that my camera's orientation is not changing. And the reason for that is because when I change my game state to be a pointer, where to go? Here it is. So when I change it to be a pointer, and I allocate the memory using this virtual alloc method or function. I keep calling it method, I don't know what to call it. Anyway, when I do it like this, that makes all the memory set to 0. But certain things, like my camera, for example, and my quaternions, they have constructors that set things to a default state. So when I'm setting all the memory to 0, that default state is not getting set to what it needs to be. So all that being said, I think all I need to do to fix this is go to where I'm initializing my game state, and before willy-nilly, if that's a word, setting all these things with my camera, I'd have to first tell the camera to be a new camera. And that will also initialize the quaternion, that is the orientation, that should fix the rotation. So I think that's it. I think that's all I needed to do. So let me see. And boom, that's all it was. It works on the gamepad, it works with the mouse, it works with the keyboard. Okay, but my light is still not working 100% properly, because I also need to do the same with the light. The light has some default state that needs to get set, so I need to tell it to be a light. Oh no, it's a point light. Don't remember my own stuff. Yeah, there we go. So now it's got a little bit more ambient to it. All right, so that is great. So what was I going to do? So I remember I added on my to-do list before everything broke. So I got my canvas renderer, but I also need a camera look at method or function. So something that can allow me to pass in a position and a target, and then it'll move the camera to there and have it point at that target. I'm not going to do that for this game if I can avoid it, because I'm not sure how to do it off the top of my head, and I don't want to spend another hour or more trying to figure it out. So I'm just going to do the stupidest thing. So I believe I had this going last time. Oh yeah, I wanted to get rid of all the sound stuff for now. I'm going to worry about the sound stuff later. Get rid of this and that. Oh yeah, and also I think I did this last time, but I'm not going to waste the time to do it now, but I'm going to make function to set global sound volume. So yeah, I made that function so that I can set the sound volume, the master volume, but I'm not going to worry about it now. I'm going to keep it very quiet. All right, so I'm going to keep the light cube, and I'm going to keep this mesh there as a reference for now. And then I'm just going to debug print some stuff. So I want the camera position, and that's %v3. I need the address of, I'm going to probably use the camera a lot, so I'm going to just extract that from this game state. Camera cam state. That's got to be the address. Yeah. Oh wait, what am I doing? Okay, so that is the address of the camera's position. All right. And likewise, I need the camera's orientation. Oops, it's supposed to be Q. All right. So I'm going to set up the camera somewhere around here. So I'm going to make the player at 0, 0, 0, where that character mesh is now. I'll probably move the light closer to here. And then maybe I'll move the camera. Yeah, so the player will be like that. And then I'll have things moving from right to left. When you press the space bar, he's going to jump over those things. If you hit one, you die. Okay, so I'm going to actually jot down this camera position, because I'm just going to hard code that into this game. But later on, when I make that look at function, it'll be a lot more elegant than this. So I got what? -13, 14. Actually, I'll put -13.75. Okay, and then the rotation is just 0, 0, 0, 1. Didn't even need to really mess with that. All right, so then, so for now, since this game's not gonna, well, I'm not gonna disable it. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a debug mode. So now my game state has a debug mode, and then I'm going to make it so that when you press a, scared of that. Let's close that. Okay, so when you press a key, let's make it, I don't know, the B key for bug. And, oh yeah, so I got the input codes already there. So key B. So if the B key is pressed once, then we're going to say the state's debug mode is whatever the opposite of whatever it currently is. And so now I'm going to check if we're in debug mode. We're going to do that. else, we're going to say that the camera's position, and I probably shouldn't do this every frame, but this is what I'm going to do for now, is going to be a new vector 3 that is wherever the game is going to be. So negative 13.75, negative 6-ish, negative 25-ish. All right, so let's see if that works. I'm probably forgetting something. Okay, nothing, can't move around. If I press B, I can use the mouse. So I should probably not do the mouse capture thing. Okay, what? So here where I'm setting the mouse cursor, I only want to do that if I'm in debug mode. But I guess I could just cheese it. B. All right, cool. So I can move around, check things out, see how they are, and then when I want to get back to the game, I press B and everything's messed up because I need to reset the orientation. And I probably should do this. Updating the camera view should be a control of the game. The game should decide when to update the camera. So that should just be state. Okay, it's good for now. Let's move the the light somewhere else. So the position is, let's put it way over the side. So like, I don't know, 15. Let's put it up a lot higher. And I guess the X position is fine where it is. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's good right there for now. Oh, there's one thing that's bugging me. Let's see, it's here in my game state where I'm initializing the game state. So I'm setting the camera's position. I'm setting the Z position to -5, which the way my coordinate system works is it should go backwards, like behind the player, or what, behind that character mesh. But instead, as you can obviously see, it goes the opposite way. So I think, and I know I've been having issues with figuring out whether my camera position should be negated or not. So I'm going to settle this. I'm going to try to settle this once and for all. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. So let me look at my camera update stuff. That's where graphics utilities. Yeah, so I think here where I'm building the camera's view matrix, I want to negate the position because I'm actually offsetting the whole world. So that would be there, but then now I need to go back and fix my update. So yeah, now that can be fixed by putting this in the proper place, plus equals 5. Oops, I thought. so never mind. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. But maybe I can figure this out real quick. So that needs to be negated because this is actually the camera's back vector. Oh wait, that would be why. And so that would have to then be, yeah. Okay, so I was writing down the position backwards, but that makes sense. Okay, so now, yeah, that makes more sense. All right, great. So that's probably going to mess up my line renderer, come to think of it. If I do a debug box here, every other function takes the game state first, except for these ones. I need to fix that at some point. But anyway, let's put this at 0. Jeez. Let's make it quite large so I can see it. What about the next color? Let's make it magenta. And I don't know, half line width. Vector 3, that's what I meant. Oh, I don't see it. Oh yeah, that's probably because I broke it by negating my camera, because I remember when I was drawing it, let me see, where's my render debug, the other one, there we go. So yeah, here I negated it, so if I do that, then hopefully it'll go back to where it should be. Yay, there it is, perfect, sweet, awesome, cool. All right, so now I can put my camera where it actually should be, and then everything else will take care of itself. Oh no, I probably need to change the controls too. Yeah, because now when I press W, it goes backwards. So let me fix that too. So I don't think that'll take long. That's just update camera with the gamepad. So that's probably got to get changed around. I'll have to worry about that later. So yeah, W key, so this should be plus equals, which makes more sense. And then when you press the A key, it would make sense to subtract. Yeah, so I had this all backwards, but now it's good. Now it's good. I like it. And R and F is fine too. Whoops. Yeah. Rotate goes opposite way, so I need to fix Q and E. So that would be positive, that one would be negative. Wait, that's not right. I'm pressing E, it should go the other way. Okay, so yeah, I was right the first time. All right, so I guess I should finally bite the bullet and fix this gamepad. Let's see, how bad is it? Oh yeah. Okay, so the looking is still fine. The moving is backwards, as you would expect, and the buttons stopped working. So easy fixes all around. So that would be oh, I should probably check the triggers as well. Oops. Okay, so those are right. So I'm going to assume these are backwards. I'm going to do minus equals, plus equals, and I'll get those fixed in a minute. So then the left stick, so do I just negate these? Oops. Nope. That didn't do it. Unless it didn't compile right. Sometimes I miss that there's errors. I should start it in debug mode. It's getting a little annoying. Having to press B every time. Oh, I was checking the right stick. Yeah, I want to do the left stick. So that, I feel like that should be different. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, so all I gotta do is change that to plus. There we go. Okay, so now let's fix those buttons. Not you. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, so we uncomment this. We don't need this. We're gonna use the states. No, game state. We need the input codes, and we need gamepad A. So let me copy all of that. Actually, let me copy everything but the A. That'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so B, X, Y. Left shoulder, I call it LB. Right shoulder, I call that RB. Left thumb, I call that L3. Right thumb is R3. And then we got D-pad up, D-pad down, D-pad left, D-pad right. All right, then we have start, and then we have the back button. So now let's test that, and I can finally get back to making my game. All right, press B. I can go back, forward, left, right, up, down. Buttons work, triggers work. Everything's good. Everyone's happy. Let's get back to making this guy jump over things. So to do that, I need to make some more stuff here. So I'm going to make a struct that's going to represent the player or the thing that's doing the jumping. So I'm going to just call it player. And so it needs a, first it needs a mesh. So textured mesh, call this mesh. Did I ever, that's, hold on. Okay, it's here. So it still has its own orientation, position, and scale. I didn't really intend for that, but I might keep that for now. But either way, so even though it has its own, I'm going to make a separate set of those for the player. Just, I don't know, it'll make more sense in my brain. I know it's a waste of space, but this is all just garbage code anyway. So yeah, I need a position, a scale, and a orientation. Okay, so in slight anticipation of what's going to happen, I know it's going to, all it's going to do is jump, right? It's going to duck maybe at some point, but right now all I'm worried about is making it jump. So I'm going to just have a game state or a little state that just checks if it's jumping, and then that'll just control what it's doing. All right, so I need to initialize this because the quaternion needs to get initialized and the scale needs to be initialized. So let's see. Oh yeah, and I should also put that into the game state. So when I initialize the game state, I need to initialize the player. So state player's orientation. I need to make sure that gets its proper quaternion. I need to make sure the scale is at least 1, or at least something greater than 0. Or something that's not 0, technically. All right, so that's that. I guess the mesh needs all that stuff too. No, I'm not using the mesh stuff. Okay, so I'm probably going to use the player a lot, so let me pull that out of here. So player pointer p is equal to the states player. And so when I'm rendering this mesh, I still have a state, like just this generic mesh here. Let's get rid of that. And so this, I'm going to move this down here and change it to be the states players mesh. And I'll let you guess which mesh I'm going to render here. Oh wait, I forgot I was going to, yeah, I did already. So that could just be the address of P's mesh. It's going to be at the player's position. All right, so let's see. I don't think that'll change anything. I hope it still shows up. It does. It's in the right spot. So now I can try to make it move, I guess. Yeah. All right, so here above where I initialize my game state, I'm going to just make a function that updates the player. And who knows what it needs, so it's going to just take the whole game state. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. This is going to be boring, I apologize, but it's going to save me some heartache. I'm going to put the game state as the first thing in every function. Okay, so then it'll just become automatic that when I call a game function, I just pass in the game state first. So let's clean up this chaos and hopefully the rest will be a lot smoother. So this is line 23. So yeah, you have to go to the front of the line. And I'm going to use that a lot, so I might as well copy that. Okay, so line 3. Oh yeah. 58. This is gonna get tedious. Okay, so that should clean up some of those errors, and I'm sure I got a lot more. Yes, I do. So now 237. Oops. All right, what else? Hey, that's it. Okay, that was painful, but now that it's over, the rest can prevail. All right, all right, all right, all right. So now let's add to my game state. I'm gonna call it an obstacle. This is the thing that you're gonna have to jump over. So obstacle. Is that how you spell it? So it's gonna have basically that. And yeah. Oh wait, I was in the middle of trying to make the player jump before adding obstacles. I should probably go back to that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So yeah, so I have update player. This is going to get the player out of there. Might as well get the input codes. And so let's see here. I think I'm going to check for if the spacebar is pressed. So if key pressed once, pass in the state, and then we're going to check for the key code for key space. How did it know? How did it know? So if that happens, I need to add some more stuff for my player here. So I'm going to make it jump. So to do that, I need some sort of velocity, but it's only going to be one dimensional, right? It just could only go up and down. So I'm going to make a float for the y velocity, or yeah, I'll call it y velocity. And let's see. Yeah, so then since I got that, I'm gonna need gravity too. So let me put that below the delta time. So now I have to initialize that stuff. So let's say the states player dot y velocity. Well, it's not going to have any y velocity at the start. It doesn't. I don't need to change that, but I do need to change the gravity. That's going to be negative because it's going down. Let's just use, isn't it like 9.8 meters per second? Let's just use that for now and see what happens. All right, so now when that key is pressed, yeah, so all I'm going to do is say that the player's y velocity is going to increase by, no, it's not going to increase, it's going to just magically become whatever he can jump by. So let's just say, I don't know, 5 for now. But then every frame, we're going to say that the y velocity is going to increase by the gravity, which will actually be decreasing. So let me get that up here. Who knows how many times I'll need it. Oh, but then if I change it, I'm gonna need. Sorry. Whatever. Why do I got equals plus? All right, I don't even know what's gonna happen now. I probably want to call that function. So let's see. How do I want to order? So always do the inputs first. I guess that's that. And this is only going to happen here. So let's do this. Oops. Update player, passing game state. Nothing happens. So let's see. Oh yeah, I need to also update the position. Oops. Positions y is going to increase by the y velocity. Okay, I'm assuming he just fell really, really fast there. Let me say this now. If that happens, then that happens. All right, so this probably has to go at least what gravity is, right? So let me crank that up. All right, it's working. What if I did like 25? Probably gotta change gravity. Can't use Earth-like gravity in this game, I suppose. All right, what if I just make it -1? That's gonna probably launch him. Seems to be teleporting awfully fast. Let me see. Oh, you know what I need to do? Oh my goodness. I need to get the delta time and then use that as a, I'll just call it dt. There we go. So all of these calculations should be multiplied by dt. There we go. It's the slowest jump. But now I can crank up the gravity. Let's put that back to Earth-ish gravity. And let's say that when he jumps, let's say he can jump double that. That's, well, double, almost double that. This was at 20. There we go. It's too moon-like. I don't know if that's the jump velocity or not. I think it's the gravity. I think I gotta crank that up. Okay, so no more Earth gravity, going video game gravity now. Why is it so slow? It's supposed to be like... Okay, let me get rid of that cube. Or, you know, for now I'm going to make the cube like act as a platform. So this should be a debug cube. We want to put it at -1, 0, and then we'll scale it by So I don't know, like 100 in the x, just 1 in the y, and I don't know, 10 in the z. We will make this a cube of magnificent color. Now let's do like a lot of red, half green, little blue. It'll be like an ugly orange, I think. And what is the 0.5 for again? Oh yeah, that was the line width. I don't need that. Hey. Should do like a textured cube because I can't tell what I'm looking at. Oh well, I'm gonna use it. Keep that for now. Alright, so I also want to rotate the player's mesh, or the player in general. So we can say that he is a new quaternion, and then we want to rotate that quaternion by a known amount. I need the address of that, don't I? Okay, so then it's going to rotate around the y-axis. And it's going to rotate. Do I have pi defined? It's my mathematics. Nope. It will be now. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make that a constant as well. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make this a constant as well, because I'm sure that'll come in handy later. So pi, half pi. Actually, we'll go in descending order. So we'll go tau is that, pi is that, half pi is that. Okay, so what was I doing with that again? I wanted to use half pi here. Maybe I have to use negative half pi. Oops, semicolon, semicolon. Okay, what happened? This character is not allowed in the identifier. I didn't use that character. What are you talking about? What? What is it talking about? Did I misuse rotate? Does it have to be cast to a float, maybe? No. What am I doing wrong? See declaration of rotate. Okay, I will do that. Takes a pointer to a quaternion, takes a vector 3 for an axis, oops, and a float for an angle. Pretty sure that's exactly what I'm giving it. Invalid literal suffix, literal. Okay, so is it because I'm using this define? What if I just wanted to rotate it 1? Are you happy with that? Yeah, okay, that is weird. I gotta figure that out. Why? Why is that not cool? Oh, I put an F there to cast it? Is that fine? Or is it too many digits? Do that one? I don't know, it's being really weird. Can I not have underscores? Is that why? Oops. I don't know, I'll put a little note here. Figure out why this doesn't work. And for the time being, I will just use that actual number. It is really unhappy with that. Okay. Is it because I copied and pasted it from somewhere? Okay, so now it's fine. I don't know what was up with that. 26795. Okay. Anyway, slight detour there, but it should be good now. All right, I got a player, I got a cheesy sky, I got a light, I got desert. Now, instead of cacti, I think he's going to jump over the Suzanne heads because that's the only mesh I got exported right now. I hope I still have it. Yeah, there it is. And the texture as well. Okay, so let's go back to my initialized game state, and I made a obstacle struct, so let's put some obstacles in my game state. So let's put that underneath the player. I will make multiple obstacles. Actually, I'll put it above the player. Oops. All right, so game state for now, we'll just have 3 obstacles. Probably get away with just 1 because there's only 1 you have to jump over at a time. But we'll do 3 for now. So let's see, what do I want to do? I want to initialize those, so let's do that here. You know what? I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I should, because knowing me, I'm gonna overthink this and mess it up. Let's just do 1 obstacle for now. Get 1 obstacle going, get them to jump over 1 obstacle, and then making other ones will be so much easier rather than trying to do all 3 at once. So let's say the states obstacle, I shouldn't call it obstacles then. Okay, so that is, I need to initialize the orientation. And what else? The position. So it's gonna be on the ground, but then I probably gotta move it up a little bit. It's gonna be in the same lane as the player, but then it's going to be way to the right. Let's put it at 50. No, let's put it at 15 for now. And then we need to load up the mesh for that. So obstacles. This is the Suzanne mesh. Alright, and then I also need to load up the texture for that. Otherwise it'll look scarier than it already is. Okay, let me see if that causes any compilation errors. Yes, it does. So too few arguments. Oh yeah, I need to say that it is 4 bytes per pixel. Shazam. All right, and now I need to try to render that. So add texture mesh to buffer. Let's get that here. Obstacle O. Oh yeah, I already have it. Okay, so that's gonna be obstacles mesh, obstacles position, obstacle scale. Oh yeah, I need to set that. Let's copy this one. And the obstacles orientation. Illegal indirection, initializing from obstacle to obstacle pointer 241. Oh, that would make sense. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, sir. Thank you. There it is. There's my obstacle. That's what I'm going to have to jump over. So let's rotate it so it's proper. Rotate states obstacle orientation. The y vector, and we want to do negative half pi. Alright, so that's the next thing I should fix, is make it so that the only time he can jump is when he's on the ground. And that should be easy because I already set up that boolean for his jumping. So if key pressed once and not, actually this is a less expensive check, so let me do this one here. If, wait, no, I already got the if. Not player, what is J? Jeez. Is jumping, there we go, that's what I meant. Okay, so if he's not jumping and they press the space key, then do that. And then we want to say jumping is now true. All right, and then so now we have to do a check that says if the player is jumping, that's the only time we want to do this stuff. I think that's it. Let me see. What happened there? Oh yeah, here. So I need to then say is jumping is false. All right, something's broken. So if he's not jumping, and is jumping should be initialized to false. End state Oh wait, I completely deleted. What happened here? That's weird. I guess that makes sense. Okay, there we go. I think the original game, you can very simply control the height. Like, I think there's two different options. Like, if you hold it down, it'll go twice as high than if you just tap it. But I'm not going to worry about that now. So now I'm going to try to get the obstacle to go from right to left. I'm going to move it up a little bit, though. Let's put it, let's see, I think 1 might be too much. Let's put it at 0.5. That's better. And so let's put it further to the right. You know what? I keep forgetting that I did this. Pretty sure I can do this. All right, so by doing that, I don't have to recompile the whole thing every time. I can make minor changes, and then with the press of the P key, it will update automatically. At least it should. Let me double check. So let's say I want to move the monkey a little bit higher. Let's say I want to move it to 0.75. I only compile the game code. Come back here, press P, and of course it doesn't work. Unless it did, and that was just too small of a change. Let me just double check here. If I do that, okay, you know, never mind. Because it's in this initialized game state, I guess it's not working quite right. But it should, though. Well, I'm getting the new update game state here. Oh, okay, yes, I'm not, yeah. Only changes that are affected are the ones that are here in my update game state, but the initialized game state doesn't really change anything, so never mind, can't do that. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I'm not gonna do that now. So what was I in the middle of doing? Put that back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, so yeah, now I have my update player. I'm also gonna make an update obstacle. And all it's going to do is move the obstacle from one side of the screen to the other. So it's going to say, let me get the obstacle from the game state first. All right, so then we're going to say O's positions, X position is going to minus equals the minus equals. It's going to be subtracting the delta time. Gotta figure out a better way to do this, so I don't have to pull these out every time. I'll figure that out later. All right, so now I gotta call that function from here. So let's see. Update obstacle with the game state. It's working. It's moving dreadfully slow, but it is working. So now I can add some sort of velocity to my obstacle. So let's say F32 X velocity. And when I initialize my game state, you know what I should do? is initialize the game state in update game state. I'll fix that some other time. Well, you know, I don't think it'll take that long. Let me do it right now. Let me add another boolean here. Is initialized. Oops. If not state is initialized, update game state, and then this should just then change the is initialized to be true. And so that means I should not initialize it here. Nope, not there. Here. And then if I want to make changes that are affected in the when I update the game state, then I think I could just do this. I can say game state is initialized is false. Uh-oh, broke something. Oops. Oh, so why is it bugging out here? So it's checking. Oh, geez. Okay. I called the wrong function. Ooh, that had me scared. All right, it's supposed to be initialize game state. Oh, goodness. Okay. Why is it not called initialize? Initial. Oh my goodness, I've been having it misspelled this entire time. Initialize. I don't know if I'll ever spell it right. There we go. All right. Okay, so now I can leave it running, and then if I want to update this, I can do that. So I can say, I don't think I could edit the size of things, but oh, I already put that in there though, so it should be good. So I should say that times the O's x velocity, and then here I can update the x velocity. Oh, actually, it's got to be like negative something, right? So there we go. Oops, why is it going the wrong way? Oh, because I did minus equals, so it should be plus equals. There we go. Still too slow. So let's change that to be 15. That's doable. All right, so now we can do, I'll just scroll aimlessly. So I want to make it so that when the obstacle gets too far off the screen, so if o.position.x is less than, I don't know, -10, then o.position.x is equal to, what is the start position? Okay, so let me keep track of that here. I'm going to say f32 x start position. So when I initialize it here, let's say that the obstacles X start position is equal to 25. And yeah, just go ahead and keep it there. And so this should now be of X start position. Okay, but the X start position is a bit far, or a bit too close. So let's put it at 35 for now. Oops, I didn't need to recompile the whole thing. There we go. P. Just about perfect. Okay, so I'm also going to just really quickly print out what if I'm in debug mode or not. Boop. I can do that all day. Okay, I don't need really need the camera's position and orientation anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more thing and then wrap it up for the evening. I'm going to do some very basic collision detection, more like proximity detection rather than collision detection, because all I'm going to do is just get the distance between the obstacle and the player, and if it's close enough to where they would be touching, then game over. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Keeping it simple. This is just the test of the engine anyway. I'm not really trying to reinvent the, what a game is or anything. So let's see, what's the best way to do that? I don't even need the best way. What's a way to do that? Update player. I guess here in the update player. I'll just make a no function for it. I'll say check for player collision. All right, so we need the player. Of course, we need the obstacle. And we need the length between those two positions. So we can say F32 len is equal to I forgot. Oh yeah, so we just basically want O's position minus P's position. And then I want the absolute value of that, right? I guess so. I don't even know if I have an absolute value function. Did I do that? Nope, I did not. Let me do that put that here. Put it above my XOR shift. Static F32. Wait, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, absolute value. Yeah, so if v is less than 0, then you want negative v, otherwise you want v. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, yeah, don't need, yeah, okay. I don't want the obstacle minus the position. That's a 3D vector. I want the length of that vector. That's what I want. And I want the absolute value of that length, I believe. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Or if, wait, would the length ever be? Wait, a length would never be negative anyway. Never mind. Never mind. And oh, at least it's there for next time. All right, what am I doing? Missing semicolons. Where am I missing semicolons? What? Oh, I got this. Jeez. It's all backwards. Okay. Didn't even need that function, and I messed it up when I did it. All right. Let's now call that function. Wait, hold on. So no, I need to check this value here. So if the length is less than, let's just pick some arbitrary value of 1. Then what do I do? I'm going to set the clear color to red. Very ominous red. Actually, I'm going to set it to black. And that should definitely tell you if you collided with something or not. Does not take 4 arguments. Oh. Here it comes. That worked. Actually, 1 seemed pretty good. Let me see if I can keep it alive. Oh wait, I just need to rerun it. Okay, yeah, so it's working. So if I don't jump right, it turns the background black, and that's the only way you know you lost as of now. So let me see. Let me do something. Oops, I keep doing that. Do something a little bit more formal, and then I'll wrap it up for the night. So let me make so I got a bool for is initialized. I really should start making like a enum for different states or something, but I'm gonna just do this. Bool game over. It's gonna get initialized to false, but then every frame I'm gonna check. Actually, only every frame that I'm not in debug mode, I'm gonna check is the states game over. If so, then I'm going to add text to the buffer, pass in the state. We're gonna say game over. We're gonna put it, oh goodness, where am I gonna put it? I'm gonna put it at 200, no, X 800, so let's say, I don't know, 350, 200. It's going to be quite large text. Scale of 5. It's going to be vector 4 for the color. What color should it's going to be big, bold, and red. So if you die, the game is over. Where did it go? Update obstacle. There it is. So not only does the screen become black, but the game over becomes true, which should put some big red text on the screen. Yay, I survived the first one. Oh, I died. Okay, so this is actually going to be like this. Okay, and then this is going to go like this. If we are in debug mode, actually no, if we're not in debug mode here, then I'm going to, no, not that, this. I'm going to move that here, just because I don't need to do that every frame that I'm not in debug mode. I just need to do it once I get out of debug mode. I want to put this maybe higher up too, and maybe bigger. What the heck happened there? Okay, so that should fix that, hopefully. There we go. I go to debug mode, get out of debug mode, but why is it game over already? So if we're not in debug mode, if not game over, oh, I have this backwards. Oh, I'm terrible. Okay, game over. So there, I can't do it. Now I'm going to say, let's do more add text. We're going to make it a little bit further to the left. It's going to say press R to restart. And it's going to be much smaller text. Oh, I need to move it further down as well, so it's not on top of the other one, and there we go. All right, I don't need a period. This is making it look uglier, and I could probably put that back to where it was. So then, if key pressed once with the game state and the key code for R. And I'm going to say initialize. I'm going to reinitialize the game state so it goes back to the beginning. Oh, I probably need to say that the... Oh, well, you know, I probably should do this in the initialize game state. So is initialized becomes true, and state game over is false. And it worked. Ooh. Okay, so I'm happy with the progress I made. I'm glad I fixed the camera issue. I think next time I'm going to just kind of clean up this game and then really work on this list of everything that I would like to add and things that would make making games, or this game or any game in particular, easier. So easier and better. So yeah, let me go ahead and save what I got. I got an actual semi-working game here. Git add everything, git commit very basic obstacle jumping game, and push it. All good. All right, thank you everybody. See you next time. Bye.